What is hell really like? The Bible gives us some chilling descriptions that make us stop and think. Is it just a place of fire and brimstone, or is there more to it? In this video, we'll explore what the Bible says about hell, from the unquenchable fire to the absence of hope. We'll uncover the terrifying reality of eternal separation from God and what it means to be in a place where there's no light, no comfort, and no way out. Stay tuned as we break down these powerful images and what they mean for us today. Eternal separation from God. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to be completely cut off from everything good? The Bible talks about hell as a place where people are eternally separated from God. This isn't just a temporary situation. It's forever. Imagine being in a place where you can no longer feel God's presence, His love, or His grace. It's like being in a room with no light, no warmth, and no hope of ever getting out. The idea of being separated from God in this way is seen as the ultimate punishment because it means being totally disconnected from the source of all goodness and life. In our everyday lives, we often take for granted the blessings we receive, even the small things. But hell is described as a place where all of that is gone. There's no comfort, no peace, no connection to anything good. It's a place where the absence of God's presence is profoundly felt, and that absence creates a void that can never be filled. This separation is a stark reminder of the consequences of turning away from God, a place of darkness. Imagine being in a place so dark that you can't see anything around you. The Bible talks about hell as a place of complete and utter darkness, where no light exists at all. This isn't just about being in a dark room. It's about being in a state where God's presence is entirely absent. In this kind of darkness, there's no hope, no comfort, nothing to hold on to. The Bible uses the phrase blackest darkness to describe it, painting a picture of a place where despair and loneliness are overwhelming. In our everyday lives, light brings us comfort and a sense of safety, but hell is described as the exact opposite. It's a place where the darkness is so intense that it feels suffocating, a constant reminder of the separation from God's light and love. The idea of being in such darkness forever is meant to make us think about the importance of God's presence in our lives. Without Him, the Bible suggests, all that's left is darkness and despair, a stark and sobering thought. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. You've probably heard the phrase weeping and gnashing of teeth before, but what does it really mean? In the Bible, this expression is used to describe the intense sorrow and regret that people will feel in hell. It's not just about physical pain. It's about emotional and spiritual suffering too. Imagine being in a place where the pain is so great that it causes constant weeping, and the regret for past choices is so overwhelming that it leads to the gnashing of teeth. This isn't just a passing moment of sadness or anger, it's a permanent state of torment. The idea of weeping and gnashing of teeth paints a vivid picture of what hell is like. It suggests that those who find themselves there are not just suffering physically, but are also haunted by the choices they made in life. The regret is so powerful that it adds another layer of pain to their experience. It's a warning to us about the consequences of our actions and the importance of the choices we make. The imagery of weeping and gnashing of teeth serves as a stark reminder of the reality of hell, where suffering is constant and regret is never-ending. Unquenchable fire. When you think of fire, you probably picture something that eventually burns out, right? But the Bible describes hell as a place with an unquenchable fire, a fire that never goes out. This isn't just any fire. It's a fire that symbolizes not only intense physical pain, but also the relentless nature of God's judgment. Imagine a fire that keeps burning, never giving any relief, always consuming but never ending. It's a powerful image that the Bible uses to convey the severity of hell. In passages like Mark 9:43 and Matthew 13:42, hell is described as a blazing furnace, a place where the fire is constant and inescapable. This fire represents more than just physical torment. It also reflects the ongoing, consuming nature of being separated from God. It's a place where there's no end to the suffering. where the fire doesn't die down, and there's no escape. The idea of an unquenchable fire is meant to make us think seriously about the consequences of our choices. It serves as a warning of the relentless and unending nature of God's judgment for those who turn away from Him, emphasizing the seriousness of what hell represents. The second death. You might be familiar with the idea of death, but have you ever heard of the second death? The Bible talks about this in the book of Revelation, and it's not just about physical death. This is something much more serious. The second death is described as the final and eternal state for those who aren't found in the book of life. Unlike the first death, which is when our physical bodies stop living, the second death is spiritual. It means being eternally separated from God, facing eternal punishment with no hope of redemption. Imagine not just dying once, but experiencing a death that never ends, a state where the soul is forever cut off from anything good, anything comforting. The Bible uses the term second death to emphasize the severity of this final judgment. It's a reminder that life doesn't just end when our bodies do. There's a much more significant eternal outcome at stake. The second death represents the ultimate consequence of turning away from God, where the separation from Him is permanent and the punishment is everlasting. It's a sobering thought that underscores the importance of living in a way that keeps us close to God, avoiding the fate of this eternal second death, a place prepared for the devil and his angels. Did you know that hell wasn't originally created for humans? The Bible tells us that hell was actually prepared for the devil and his angels. It's a place designed as a punishment for their rebellion against God. This shows just how serious hell is. It's a place of judgment meant for those who turned away from God's authority. But the Bible also warns that those who choose to reject God's ways will end up sharing the same fate as the devil and his angels. In Matthew 25:41, Jesus speaks about how, at the final judgment, those who have not followed God's path will be sent to the same place of punishment. It's a sobering reminder that hell is not just a concept or a story. It's a real place with real consequences. The idea that humans could end up in a place originally meant for the devil highlights the seriousness of rejecting God's offer of salvation. It's not just about punishment, it's about being separated from God and facing the same fate as those who openly rebelled against Him. This understanding should make us think carefully about our choices and the path we choose to follow in life. The absence of hope. Imagine being in a place where there's no hope at all. That's how the Bible describes hell, a place where hope simply doesn't exist. The finality of the judgment and the eternal nature of the punishment mean that there's no chance for redemption, no way out. It's a place where the door is permanently closed and the suffering is unending. The absence of hope is what makes hell truly terrifying, because it means there's nothing to look forward to, no relief on the horizon. In our everyday lives, even in tough times, we usually have some hope that things will get better. But in hell, that hope is completely gone. The thought of being in a state where there's no possibility of escape or change is one of the most harrowing aspects of hell. It's a place of absolute despair, where the weight of finality presses down forever. The Bible uses this imagery to convey just how serious the consequences are for those who turn away from God. Without hope, there's only endless suffering, making hell a place of unimaginable despair and sorrow. As we've seen, the Bible's descriptions of hell are both sobering and thought-provoking. It's a place of eternal separation, darkness, and despair. If you found this exploration insightful, be sure to subscribe to Holy Stories for more discussions on biblical truths. Don't forget to like this video and share it with others who might want to understand these important topics. Thanks for watching, and stay connected for more powerful stories from the Bible.